Hi, my name is Giza, and I'm glad I get to be here with you today. I'm wondering, what would you do if I told you right now you only had 24 hours left to live? I know, that's a tough one, and if you're anything like me, your mind would be spinning trying to figure out what you might want to do. Call your immediate family members? If they're close enough, go see them immediately. What do I want them to hear from me that I'd be remembered by? Maybe eat your favorite meal, or even 2 or 3. Or maybe your thoughts would go to your estate, what you may leave behind. Is everything in order? What do I need to do to make sure that what I leave behind will end up in the right hands? What will the next hours look like for me? Will I be in pain? Or will you be able to think of the pain your passing will cause in the lives of others around you? What it may be that the ones closest to you need during these next 24 hours. Remember the abbreviation WWJD for What Would Jesus Do? That actually first became popular in the early 1900s after a widely read book called In His Steps, What Would Jesus Do by Charles Sheldon. Well, we do have the answer in this situation because New Testament author, the Apostle Paul, who some scholars believe was also Jesus' cousin, wrote about it in his account of Jesus' life. John wrote about Jesus' life because he knew how important it was for everyone to hear about it. So today, as we are in week 5 of this series, He Gets Us, we are looking at the story of where John describes the last 24 hours leading up to Jesus' death and what was important to him to leave us with, because it shows that Jesus does get us, and particularly that He gets my heart. But before we get into the story, I'd love it if you could take a moment and hit the like, subscribe, and share button so this message might encourage someone else who needs to hear that God really does get us, that Jesus gets our heart, and also so that you can always be up to date and with what's going on and coming up here at Hope. If you want to partner with us through giving so we can continue to reach people who need to hear this message of hope, we offer 3 ways you can do that. You can text to give to 84321. You can give online on our website, hopepd.org, or you can mail in your gift to Hope Palm Desert, 45900 Portola Avenue, Palm Desert, California, 92260. I sincerely thank you for your generosity in advance and can assure you your gift will make a difference in someone's life. Now, stay right here, and I'll be right back to get into the story of what Jesus did in His last 24 hours of life to leave us with the message that He truly gets my heart. So here's what John wrote. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for Him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved His own who were in the world, He loved them to the end. Jesus knew it was coming. Jesus knew He had come to the last 24 hours of His life. He knew He would leave this world and go be with the Father, His Father, our God, and His focus on wanting to love His own, the ones He has been close to during His time here on earth until the end. He wasn't thinking of Himself, what His death will look like, the pain He will have to endure, being able to go to In-N-Out or having ice cream at Hendel's one more time. All He is concerned about is to love the ones He is close to until He can't anymore. Jesus was gathering with His disciples to share the Passover meal and to institute the Lord's Supper when He got up from the meal, took off His outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around His waist. After that, He poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Washing people's feet was a tradition during ancient times because the dusty and rocky roads would leave feet dirty and even coated with mud. It was common that upon arrival at any destination, that someone would bring a bowl of water and a towel and wash the feet of the visitor. It was a gesture of kindness and welcome and was most likely done by a servant or a slave. Now, when Jesus and the disciples arrived at their destination for their meal, there was no one there at the door. So they all sat down without their feet being washed. None of the disciples took on the responsibility of the task. So Jesus got up, picked up the bowl, filled it with water, and began washing their feet to make a much bigger statement. He wanted to show his disciples how much he loved and cared about them. Washing someone's feet takes a lot of humility, not only on the side of the one doing the washing, but also on the side of the one whose feet are being washed. It is such a simple but profound action. Feet are such a basic thing, not particularly pretty or ugly, but just basic. Washing them is both ordinary, but also very close and personal. It is a moment of tenderness. I'm sure some of us would be quite uncomfortable, including me, honestly, if I'd offered to wash your feet, especially if it's someone in public. Washing someone else's feet is very personal and something that is not part of our daily traditions, mainly because we wear shoes these days, and I'm trusting that you all do your own feet washing at home. Plus, it takes a lot of humility, maybe more than I'm willing to show. So please, people, wash your own feet. But all joking aside, even back then, during Jesus' days, it took a lot of humility because the washing was done by someone of lower or even lowest social status. For Jesus to take on this demeaning task, he showed unconditional love for his disciples, humbling himself, removing all sense of status from being seen as their master or religious leader, promised Messiah or long-awaited king, to become their servant. And so he explains to them, "Do you understand what I've done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." Jesus knows your heart and my heart and knows that he's going to be with the Father, following what he was commissioned to do by God, and that he won't be here on earth. So he leaves us with symbols that remind us that he gets my heart. So we remember what true humility and unconditional love looks like and how to treat one another. Jesus is using washing feet as a symbol for all followers to see how much he loves us and how we should treat one another. And by the way, we don't want to get stuck on the idea that we need to actually wash feet. Remember, it is a symbol for something we're all encouraged to do in humility, to show someone our love for them. Jesus wants us to remember to do things for others where we set ourselves, our own desire and preferences aside, something that is not particularly easy for us, something that we have a tendency to shy away from, like the disciples. I mean, no one jumped up and offered to take on the washing of the feet, right? They were probably all secretly hoping that someone else would volunteer, while they, in their own mind, justifying why it shouldn't be them to offer washing everyone's feet. I don't know what that would be for you, but I know what that could be for me. For example, for me, it would be to actually go out into the homeless community and help serve a meal, or stopping and saying hi to a homeless person, asking them for their name, and actually taking a chance to getting to know them. I'm pretty good at serving wherever I'm asked to serve or where I see a need, but there are definitely some things I shy away from where I'd be stretched beyond my comfort zone. Another big point Jesus is emphasizing in this story is that we're not only to love the ones who are easy to love. We cannot pick and choose whom we want to serve. You may be thinking, yeah, but those people in this story who Jesus washed their feet were his friends, his companions, his disciples. But look at the people I'm surrounded with. Surely Jesus wouldn't want me or expect of me to serve them, would he? In verse 1 we read, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. I think there is a very specific reason why John is being so specific about where the people Jesus loved were. That they were in the world. They were ordinary, worldly people who were not all always particularly easy to love. They had all, at some point along the way, argued about which of them was going to be the greatest. One of them we know will betray him. One of them will soon deny him multiple times. And 10 of them would even desert him. Judas, who Jesus knew would betray him, was right there with him. Jesus knows that Judas is full of deceit, about to stab him in the back. And what does he do, though? He washes his feet. Jesus washes Judas's feet with the same tenderness and love that he offers everyone else until the very end. Can you wash the feet of your enemies? Are you open to serving the person even if you know that he or she will not return that same kindness? What Jesus wants us to learn here is that foot washing is not about actually washing our feet or each other's feet, but serving others at personal sacrifice. The words and actions of Jesus are to inspire us. Jesus is using foot washing as a symbol for all his followers to imagine a world where we are willing to set our differences aside and serve one another in humility. I mean, what could that look like in our world when we decide to give someone a compliment even if they never said anything nice to us? Can we pay for a stranger's coffee or initiate that conversation with a family member who we've been estranged from for a long time? Can you approach someone here at church who you've been attending with many times when you are here on campus, but never found the courage to actually get to know them just a little more? He gets my heart, my struggle to know how to love and treat others well, to let go of self and make others' needs a priority, which is why he left us with these symbols, so we as his followers would spend time reflecting on ourselves, our thoughts, our actions, and learn to live humbly, serve sacrificially, and love others the way Jesus loved us. Even the ones who we don't find easy to love or serve, even the ones we have differences with, and again, do it with humility, love, kindness, and respect. So as I leave you here today with this message, and you will go on into your day, into your week ahead, I want you to try that in spite of your hesitancy, insecurities, preconceptions, and look with eyes wide open for someone somewhere along your way to serve, even if it is a stretch for you, knowing that God is with you because he knows you and me, and he gets my heart. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this message, and thank you for the reminder that you understand us, that even the things that are not easy for us, that are beyond our comfort zone, that you get our heart, and that you know what we need so that we can serve you, that we can serve others, and with us, you, better each and every day. And for all of us, I pray in your precious name, Jesus. Well, thank you for being here with us today, and I look forward for you to coming back next week for our next part of the series that is called He Gets Us, and the next message will be He Gets My Struggles.